was horror.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Peter Hunt-Spitek with DualShockers.com, and today we're taking a look at the differences between Control on the PS4 and on the PS5. Now, Control came out in 2019 and was one of the best games of the year, and one of my personal favorites from the entire last console generation. Despite its incredible art design, gameplay, and X-Files-esque story, a bulk of what many people remember Control for are the atrocious performance issues it was riddled with. Base consoles and even the beefier PS4 Pro and Xbox One X had some major issues with running the game, nearly a year and a half later, and those consoles still stutter and chug when trying to run it. Introduced the Xbox Series X and the PS5, and now the game is able to be played the way that it was meant to be experienced. The Control Ultimate Edition is one of February's free PS Plus games, so if you've got the PS5, now's the perfect time to check out the game. We're going to be taking a look at some footage of Control running on the base PS4, and then compare it to footage from the PS5 in both the graphics and performance modes. The performance mode locks the frame rate at a smooth 60 FPS, but doesn't include some of the graphical updates that are in the graphics mode. And graphics mode promises a 30 FPS cap with ray tracing and improved textures. So let's take a look at one of the intro cutscenes in all three of these modes. Here's what the scene looks like on the base PS4.
The same gun. Okay, now I have a gun.
Now here's the scene in the PS5 performance mode.
The same gun. Okay, now I have a gun.
And finally, the same scene in the PS5 graphics mode.
The same gun. Okay, now I have a gun.
There aren't a whole lot of differences in those scenes other than a few pop-ins because they're pre-rendered. Let's take a look at something a little bit less staged, the lighting. Check out this area in the base PS4. Now take a look at the PS5 on performance mode. And finally, check out that lighting in the PS5 graphics mode. As you can see, the graphics mode made the light and reflections look incredible. However, the reflections really have their time to shine in the hotline room. Take a look on the base PS4. Now here it is on the PS5 performance mode. And finally on the PS5 graphics mode. Clearly, the game looks great, but no one was debating that. It looked great on the PS4, and now it looks even better on the PS5. Let's look at how the game runs in a combat scenario. First, let's see how it runs without Jessie using any of her superpowers on the base PS4. There were some slight frame rate drops, but nothing major. Let's see what it looks like on the PS5 performance mode. Clearly smooth 60 FPS. Let's see it on the PS5 graphics mode. The frame rate issues became immediately apparent on last-gen consoles as soon as Jesse's powers were introduced. Adding destructible physics objects to a game full of particle effects and explosions was just way too much for last-generation hardware to handle. Take a look for yourself.
Right. Reach through the mailroom.
Luckily, on the PS5's performance mode, Control's frame rate stays steady. Take a look.
Emily said that the hotline can be reached through the mailroom.
While halved in service of nicer textures and reflections, the frame rate doesn't dip on graphics mode either.
Just like you wanted, right? This will help me fight the hiss.
So there you have it. I would say that the PS5 performance mode definitely looks closer to the PS4 version, but it runs like a dream. 60 FPS makes a real difference in a game like this when, at any moment, you might get ambushed. The graphics mode is beautiful and still runs really well at 30 FPS, and at the end of the day, Control is still a great game no matter how you're playing it. So, what do you think? Which version do you prefer? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like this video and subscribe to DualShockers for all things Control.